Good morning. I had the opportunity to interview with actor Tom Czarny on October in the year of 2014. He played in Waiting for Godot at the Studio Theater at the Depot in Traverse City, Michigan. He was wonderful and very intelligent in the play and interview, and hopefully teaching to others when they step on their stages in Waiting for Godot.
Sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart so slow. But if you don't wanna tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Losing almost all my energy. It's getting hard to talk to you, and I'm the only one who speaks. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart so slow. But if you don't wanna tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Here we go, turning all the wrongs into rights. Here we go, you can take me there tonight. Whoa, this life is all we know. Whoa, I can't stay if you can't let it go. I never really know what's going on. And even when you're next to me, I feel like you were gone. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart so slow. But if you don't wanna tell me now, I guess I'll never know. But if you don't wanna tell me now, I guess I'll never know.
We spend so much of our lives anticipating, strategizing, manufacturing scenarios as to what we're going to do. And we don't do it. So we spend a huge amount of time planning for something that never comes to fruition. And that's what I took away from the play. Is that what do the characters do? They wait for what? For the next day. And they manufacture scenarios, they manufacture stratagems, none of which comes to fruition. In our own lives, sometimes they do come to fruition, but for the most part, they don't. We spend an awful lot of energy, an awful lot of tears, an awful lot of sweat over the insignificant.
Don't go yet.
I'm going.
What do you do when you fall far from help?
We wait till we can get up, and then we go on. On.
Wait, before you go, tell him to sing.
Who?
Lucky.
To sing?
Yes. Or recite, or think.
But he is dumb.
Dumb?
Dumb. He can't even groan.
Dumb? Since when?
Have you not done tormenting me with your accursed time? It's abominable! When? One day? Is that not enough for you? One day he went dumb. One day I went blind. One day we'll go deaf. One day we were born. One day we shall die. The same day, the same second. Is that not enough for you? Godot is a fabrication. He's a manifestation. He is a vague concept. It's not a real person. It's more of, is what Samuel Beckett used to build his play about. Godot is simply the unformed future around which we attempt to create some kind of framework. It's really not a person. It's not an entity at all. It's a vague notion of what we wish to become and work toward.
When do you want me to do this? It's going to be different every goddamn time.
Every other play I have done has had some sort of theme. Well, this has a theme as well, but a storyline, a beginning, a middle, and an end. Godot doesn't. Godot simply goes on and on and on. Tomorrow, the characters will be replaying what they did today. For instance, my character at one point says, I don't remember having met anybody yesterday, but tomorrow I won't remember having met anybody today, so don't count on me to enlighten you. And that's what has made Godot so problematic for people over the years, critics, audiences, actors, whoever it might be, in that it doesn't have anything you can hang your hat on. It doesn't, like when you're acting the play itself. Can't remember how many times, fortunately, this really didn't happen during any of the performances, but during rehearsals, we would be going through a series of, through a particular sequence of lines, and all of a sudden, we'd be in Act 2, and then all of a sudden, we'd be in Act 1. And we were all over the place. The continuity isn't there. In a Shakespearean play, there is a chronological order of events. There is no chronological order of events in Godot. To me, it's science fiction. Godot is science fiction. And it's one of the only plays for the stage that I know of that is, in essence, speculative fiction or science fiction.
What can you expect? It's not his job.
Excuse me.
That's better.
Excuse me, sir.
What is the matter with that?
You're finished with the, you won't be needing the bone?
You couldn't have waited.
No. He doesn't want to ask.
Do I need the bones? No, personally, I don't need them anymore. But, in theory, they go to the carrier. He is therefore the one to ask. Go on. Don't be afraid. Ask him. He'll tell you.
Learn your lines faster than I did. This was the most difficult show I have ever been in, without a doubt. It was absolutely brutal trying to learn one's lines, because it was 80-some pages of non sequiturs, one-liners, or single words. And those single words they occurred so many times during the play that you could jump, like I said a moment ago, from Act 1 to Act 2 seamlessly, and with no intention other than, oh, it's the same thing I said before, probably it's the same thing to say again. And so, to anybody doing it again, learn your lines early on and hope that your fellow actors do the same thing. It was brutal right up to the end. I don't know how we pulled it off, to be honest with you, but somehow we did. I guess the fear of those faces staring back at you from the audience is a great inducement to finally get things nailed down. So, just from a viewpoint of character development, you bring your own sense of character, your own sense of, in my case, this is theater of the absurd. Life is absurd. So I tried to bring as much absurdity and humor to it as I could, because I thought that was the essence of this character. Beckett himself said, pot soap is an interruption of the tedium. And I guess it's my job was to interrupt the tedium. And so I tried to make it as over the top as I could. I know a lot of purists wouldn't agree with me, but they aren't the ones up there on stage. Easily 9, not 10. 10 is undoable. So maybe I should back off to 9. Definitely a 9. It was a bear. It was a bitch. It was just really hard to wrap your head around it. And it was hard to get everybody else wrapped around it as well. But that's what's the magic, that's the magic of theater, that we did get our heads wrapped around it. That the impetus of opening night really caught everybody's attention. Not like we were, well, maybe we were screwing off a little bit, but coming up on the deadline, it really fired us up to pull it together. And you know it's going well, or starts to go well, where you can look in the eyes of your fellow actors and see the next line waiting for you. In other words, it wasn't the, if I can do it with my own eyes, the frantic hunt where the eyeballs flick back and forth, where you can see them scanning their internal memory banks, looking for their next line. And it was finally arrived at where you could see folks anticipating what they were going to do next. But that was a long time coming. So a 9.0.
I said,
Running swore.
it's the rope.
It's the rubbing.
It's inevitable.
It's the knot.
It's
The chafing. He's not bad looking.
You see so?
A trifle effeminate.
Look at that. Oh, slobber.
Oh, it's inevitable.
Slobber.
Perhaps he's a half-wit.
A creep.
I want to thank Tom Webb for giving me the opportunity to bust my ass over the last 3 months, and to work with some great folks up on stage. Yeah, I want to thank them. I want to thank Jamaica for her efforts. I want to thank all the folks behind the scene, Linda, Judy, Karen, sorry if I'm leaving anybody out, Wayne, for your work with the camera. Thank you for documenting all this. It was a great experience. It was very difficult. It was mind-bendingly difficult. And I was worried to begin with. I've often wondered why King Lear, I should do a survey of this. I've often wondered why King Lear is not performed that often. And could it be because the lead character is an elderly individual? And as a result, the mind is not as sharp. Our brains aren't as pink and fluffy as somebody in the 30s and 20s, for whom memorizing enormous amounts of dialogue is child's play. And I am very appreciative of the opportunity to challenge myself to see whether or not I could pull it off, and in the end to do so. So I'm grateful to everybody involved. I'm grateful to the audience for coming out and taking a chance with us. So, yeah, thanks to the folks in Traverse City for coming out and seeing us.